Hi, this is Kathy Hanson, and this is your back pocket strategy for the week. Have you heard everything is a negotiation? If you've ever had a toddler who wants a second cookie, you know that's a negotiation. Teenager who wants to extend their curfew, negotiation. So this week I'm going to share with you 5 life lessons that I have learned that have worked all the way through my career. And these 5 things really will stand you in good stead with every kind of negotiation that you have, okay? So 1, I want you to remember you're dealing with a person. It's always a person on the other side of the table who you're working with. That should make you feel equal to that person. Your conversation should flow. It should be talking. You're collaborating. I want you to have the mindset, not that this is a big, scary thing. This is a person or a couple of people representing an organization possibly, but at the end of the day, these are people. So just remember that and breathe. Number 2, I want you to write down prior to the meeting what you're an expert at, what you bring to the table that nobody else can. I've had clients before text me once a day for a week prior to a big meeting. What do you offer that no one else can? If you write it down on a piece of paper and someone were to take that piece of paper, could they offer those things to this project, to this experience, to this situation, to this job? What do you offer this experience, this project, this company that nobody else can? That will make you confident because you have an expertise in something that they want. Number 3, I want you to make sure that you're collaborating and you understand the industry that you're working with. So I have a client on the West Coast who had the lucky fortune of being offered 2 6-figure jobs. And I had her research these companies. She knew the industry really, really well, but she wanted to collaborate with one of those 2 companies. So we had her really research everything about them so that when she went into the negotiating table on the conference room, she wasn't going to feel overwhelmed. She knew all the nuances because she did her research. And then again, it could become a collaborative conversation. They weren't telling her things that were shocking to her. She knew industry standards, the pay, the sales cycle, the list of products. There are ways for you to know that information. So if you know who you're negotiating with, you can never be surprised with what they tell you as fact, because that's where the nuances of what you're negotiating and maybe some flexibility, some things that you're going to ask for that they maybe have not been asked for before. That's where all this knowledge base comes in, and it's so important, and it ties back in to your expertise. They're going to love that you understand their industry and and their company. They're going to know that you researched it for a reason. Number 4, I want you to make sure that you write everything down. I've made sure that my clients sometimes, when I told you that they text those things that are uniquely theirs, they write those things down, and you write down everything you want of the negotiations. It's okay to bring paper into the negotiating room. Also, write down what's said in the meeting. If there's no admin, if there's nobody writing things down, everything's open to interpretation. So you need to take notes when they're talking about things. And lastly, when you write it down, I want you to, when you go back, not only say thank you in an email, but recap what was said. So many times we hear different things. Say in the email, this is what I understood that we agreed upon. These few things need some clarity, or I need some clarification on this, or these were some things I needed to think about. But always have it written down. So write it down before, during, and after. So the 5 things are, you are going into this knowing that you're only talking to a person. You're going to feel good about that because it's going to be a much smaller deal than if you were talking about a big organization like General Mills or Best Buy or something. You are only talking and negotiating with the person sitting across from you. That makes it one-on-one, mano a mano. Number 2, I want you to remember that you are an expert. You've written things down. You bring something to the table that nobody else does. That's awesome. 3, you are an expert in the industry, or you've learned and become really knowledgeable about their company. So in the negotiating, the nuances are so smooth. You know what they're talking to you about, the sales cycle and the products that they offer, the products that are in the pipeline. You want to know those things, and that's going to impress them. Number 4, write it down, write it down, write it down. Before, write it down what you want, bring that in. Write down what they're talking about in the meeting, and then afterwards do an email and and recap it, anything that's unclear. Number 5, don't let history hinder you. By that I mean, don't let anybody tell you, but we've never done that before. I can't tell you how many times in my 28 years of working with corporate America that I've asked for something and the VP or the P or the CEO says, nobody's ever asked for that. Don't leave anything on the table. If they say, we've never done that before, wait a minute, let yourself breathe. That doesn't mean no. That just means they've never been asked that before. If they say no, we've never done that before, say, how about if I be the first? How about if we try it out, give it a whirl for 3 weeks or until my first review? Always be open for yes, and don't let history hinder yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Remember, you're the expert, you've done your research, it's just another person, and you're happy to collaborate with them. That's your back pocket strategy. Make it a great week.